What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back. Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. Alright, check it out, man. Today's boxers promote Floyd Mayweather's Fiasco. See, this Floyd saga continues. Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. And I want to say this right off the bat, man. You know, say what you want about Floyd Mayweather. You don't have to like him. You don't have to like the things he does. But Floyd Mayweather is super sharp when it comes to marketing foolery. And to me, sometimes I question, well, not question, but sometimes I talk about Floyd, as far as promoters, and he's a horrible promoter. And it's kind of a two-edged sword with that, because when you look at, what you would say as far as a promoter and bringing up a fighter the right way, putting them in the right fights, this, that, and the third, depending on the agenda, Floyd could be one of the best in the game, and he can be one of the worst in the game. And I think that, sometimes people get it twisted. My thing is that Floyd's an excellent promoter, probably one of the best in the game at promoting foolery, because he's going to make plenty of money off of the foolery. Now, when you look at Floyd as a promoter, like say compared to Bob Arum and bringing a fighter up the right way, he's absolute trash, because his agenda and his motive, they're not going to bring a fighter up the right way, right? But that's not what this video is about. I just wanted to speak on that. This is about Floyd. You don't have to worry about if he's a fighter who was brought up the right way. When it comes to Floyd and his abilities and what he can do in the ring, please. I don't think there's any questions. Anybody who would question that, I don't know, I would question how much you know about this sport. Floyd's great as far as a boxer. Now, this fiasco with Logan Paul, when it first was announced, I was like, oh man, here we go with Floyd and this again. But look, I'm not even going to keep giving Floyd heat. I'm not going to keep giving Floyd heat for these fights, because Floyd's retired. And I'm starting to look at this a little differently with Floyd Mayweather. You have Mike Tyson and Roy coming back. You got Oscar talking about coming back doing something, Evander Holyfield, and what have you, whatever. Look, man, it's an exhibition match. It's a gimmick fight, or whatever you want to call it. Even if they utilize Logan Paul's silly boxing, because he has a boxing license. He has an official loss versus KSI, which, speaking on that loss and Logan Paul's fight with KSI, here's the thing with that. Here's the thing with this KSI fight. Now, we all know that Paul lost this fight, right? Okay. And with these pictures, it would appear, okay, well, he got beat up by this guy KSI. And I'm gonna be honest about it. I don't know if you guys watched the fight, or I went and watched the fight merely so that I could do this video. And he actually beat him up. The reason he lost, because he had 2 points deducted for hitting that man while he was down. Now, things like that just come from inexperience and, mistakes being made in the ring. Well, you got a guy like Logan Paul who has an immaculate 1 fight, 1 loss boxing resume, right? No amateur pedigree, which screams inexperience. The 2 points that he had taken away screams inexperience. He had the guy beat, but because of his lack of experience, he lost the fight. Now you're talking about a Logan Paul. I don't care about the size in this, guys. We talked about the size with Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez is a big kid, but they're both boxers. They're both lifers in the boxing world. Logan Paul is a YouTuber. So when you talk about mistakes being made, when you talk about size differences, we're generally talking about a legitimate boxing match. This is an all-time great versus a YouTuber. And the Floyd Mayweather saga continues because people didn't like the fact that he was fighting Conor McGregor. They really didn't like the fact of all the money he was going to make, or that he did make, to fight Conor McGregor. Then Floyd says, I'm coming back after the Berto fight. And he jumps in there with tension. Excuse me, guys. Which we know tension, man, that was a complete show. And now we're right back around again. Floyd Mayweather saga continues. But to take this a little further, and my real thought on this video and why I put it out is it's the boxers today that's promoting the Floyd fiasco. And the reason I say that is because if these guys don't do the things that they're supposed to do, then these type of fights will thrive. These type of fights will actually need to be introduced to bring money and attention into this sport. I'm not going to blame Floyd. I'm not going to keep throwing heat on Floyd. To a certain extent, Floyd is doing what he's doing for the sport. Whether people want to hear that or not, well, how is this helping the sport? Well, how the hell is Errol Spence and Bud Crawford messing around helping the sport? How the hell is Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk fiasco helping this sport? How the hell is all of these fights that we want to see that we cannot get helping this sport? Teofimo, Devin Haney. How is this helping the sport? And then people cry about these gimmick fights. I even did a live on this myself, because my live wasn't complaining about the gimmick fights. It was more or less a question. Is this what boxing is turning to? And if these modern day boxers don't stop the foolishness they're doing and get their ass in the ring, the modern day boxers, today's boxers promotes the Floyd Mayweather fiasco. And it's just an analogy. It's an analogy of this type of foolery. I mean, look, man, some of these gimmick fights are entertaining and it's good here and there, but it's not something that we want to become common in this sport. Turns our sport into a game, almost WWE-esque type foolishness. It's not predetermined. I mean, they don't sit in the boardroom and say, okay, well, The Rock's going to win this, not John Cena. No, but it's almost predetermined because we know the outcome. I mean, let's be real about this, guys. Floyd Mayweather toyed and played around with Conor McGregor. Now, granted, Conor McGregor's no boxer, but Conor McGregor is a lifer in combat sports. Conor McGregor boxed before, whether on a lower level circuit or not, but he's one of the finer strikers in MMA. But he's aware and adapt to foot movement, turning your hips correct, punching correctly, technically placing those punches. Conor McGregor is aware of those things. Logan Paul is a YouTuber. I don't care about the 2+ years, almost 3 years he's been practicing. Floyd has been boxing since he was 5 years old, man. This is ridiculous. Size matters. They have weight classes for a reason. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys know on that. But Logan don't have enough size. He doesn't have enough size. He doesn't have the IQ. He doesn't have the footwork. He doesn't have the speed. Did you see, when I watched the fight with KSI and Logan, and I thought to myself, my God, this guy is so slow. His timing is terrible. His footwork is atrocious. Now, you guys think about somebody whose timing's terrible, whose footwork's atrocious, and who's slow. And then you say a guy whose footwork is immaculate, he's fast, and his timing is precise. This is the fight that we're about to engage in, right? And it's the boxers of today's fault that we're engaging in this fight. I'm not blaming Floyd Mayweather. Shout out to Floyd Mayweather. Get your money. Get your money. He had a long, illustrious career, and these are the benefits of getting a lot of money after you've retired. Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather cashed in. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones cashed in. Right? Get your money, man. No need for me to give Floyd heat on this. The boxers of today promotes the Floyd Mayweather fiasco. And if these guys don't stop doing what they're doing, chasing the bag, wanting to get a name that means nothing on their record, don't want the O to go, then the Floyd saga continues. And shout out to Floyd, Logan, get your money if these fighters don't want to do what it takes so that your fight is less important and the real fights are important. Because when you go look at the UFC culture, I can guarantee you this. You get a fight, say like John Jones, Stipe Miocic, even the Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor fight. These gimmick fights over there in the UFC, they're not going to supersede those fights. But a guy like Floyd Mayweather, he'll outsell everybody in boxing right now. And those are the facts, man. Our boxers of today got to get it together. Because if they don't, then the Floyd saga continues. And y'all know how I always end this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.
Block with the shop. Pull up to the block and you can shop. What you want to watch out, cause the cops hot. You shoot a shot, 50 feet